Hey guys, how's it going? Y'all doing good tonight? Yes, my name's Tracy Alverson. I am one of your student pastors here. Are you guys testing still today? Did that happen at your school? No? Oh yeah, seniors don't test. Thank you for being here tonight, guys. We are in week 2 of a series called Red Flags, right? So you've already figured out, just because you've heard the name of this series, you know that this series is about dating and relationships, right? Some of you have already checked out because you're like, but I'm not in a relationship. And some of you are like, I never want to be in one, and that's okay. But hear me out, okay? From my conversations with you, some of you, and from my, genius experience, we'll call it, I'm going to say that every person in this room is in one of 3 categories, okay? I'm going to say that you're either in a relationship, some of you, right? You are not in a relationship, but you really want to be in one, okay? That's some of you. And then the third group of you is like, I'm not in a relationship, and I'm okay with it, but there's a good chance I'm going to be in one someday, right? So probably you're in one of those 3 categories. If you're not, don't tell me right now, okay? Cool? This series has got a lot of good stuff. So even if you are not dating or in a relationship right now, I just want you to stay tuned in, okay? Got it? You with me? We're with you? Okay. Before we get into the content, let me ask you a question. And I just want you, rarely do I ask you to do this, but I want you to yell out the last song that got stuck in your head.
You broke me first.
What else? You don't have one? What'd you eat?
No.
What'd you shout out? What you got?
Yeah, glow.
Okay. Always Jesus. Is that what you were gonna say? Yeah. You guys got one? What's the last song that got stuck in your head? No, I don't want to ask.
I don't know.
Okay. You got one?
No.
You got one.
Lane does.
Lane does.
I don't get one.
Yes, you do.
Come on, chickens.
Say it. What?
Iris.
Okay. Do you guys remember the Lego movie? 2? Yes. Give it to us both. Is this the worst song ever? This song's gonna get stuck inside your... I know, I'm sorry. Actually, you're welcome. I just gave you the next song that got stuck in your head. It's in there forever. I'm sorry. All right, sometimes it's not a song, right? Sometimes, for some of you, probably all of you, there's a TikTok audio, or for those of you who your parents won't let you have TikTok and you watch Instagram Reels, what's an audio that you have recently said over and over and you can't stop saying? What's up, brother? Yeah. Ugh. What did somebody said earlier, like brother ooh or some mess? Can I trust you with this? What you got?
I'm joking.
What else? Anybody else got a good one? I don't have any good ones. Yeah. What you doing?
What?
Wait, what? No, that's your thing that you say.
No, I don't know what else.
Okay.
Chance knows. Don't put the mic in my face.
Special teams, special plays, what? Special players. Obviously, I'm not up on this. Okay, so you guys know what I mean, right? You guys know what it means to have something living in your head rent-free. You know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's not songs, sometimes it's not audios. Like for me, sometimes all I can think about is how much I want tacos for life. And I think about it all day until I get to order tacos for life. Do you do this with food? I do this with food. Okay, you all get it. You get what it's like to have something in your head and you can't get it out, right? In this series, we're gonna talk about dating and relationships, obviously. And guys, when I don't understand something fully, I ask the Goog. That's Google. I Google it. That's my own terminology, by the way. You're welcome. Ask the Goog. Okay, so I was like looking up, don't make that face at me. All right, so I Googled it. I looked up what are the different kinds of like dating or dating terminology. Someone told me recently that there's like stages. Okay, yes. Okay, we need to have coffee. I need to know what these stages are, okay? There's like this thing and then this thing. Okay, so here's some of the words I found today. If you, did you say get your mom? All right, if you don't know what this means, I'll tell you later because I did look up the definition, so they're probably wrong. Anyways, so like rizzing, right? Ew. Talking, cookie jarring. Have you heard of this? That's not good. Cookie jarring. Okay, situationship. Oh, yeah. Okay. Did you say hunting? I said hunting. I heard that, yeah. I saw that one today too, and I did not write it down. Dating, benching, benching, putting someone on the bench in case you want to call them in. Yeah. Pocketing. Y'all, this list is crazy. So I'm going to stop. But for the purposes of tonight, right, for the purposes of this message, here's what I want you to think about. Every situation that you might find yourself in can be kind of labeled into this one place, right? You're interested in someone as more than a friend, and you hope they're interested in you too. Can we just land there? And this goes for all those things? Cool? Okay. All right. If you have found yourself interested in someone recently, you might know what it's like to have that person stuck in your head, right? You think about them all the time. Thinking about them never gets old. Talking about them never gets old, at least not to you, right? And here's the thing, that's normal, right? It's normal for you to want that, for you to want a relationship. And it doesn't have to be bad. So hear me tonight. I'm not saying that dating is bad or being in a relationship is bad or being in a situationship is bad. I'm not saying any of that, okay? What we're talking about tonight is when that thing in your life becomes an obsession. When that thing in your life is all that you can think about. And how do we know when it becomes an obsession? What does that even look like? Okay, I'm gonna tell you. It's when you have someone in your life and they're all you talk about, all you think about. That's my first one, I think. They're all you think about. When you have somebody in your life and they're the only person you spend time with. If you've got free time, you're with that person. The people closest to you haven't seen you in a while because most of your time is spent exclusively with that person. Maybe you don't have somebody in your life, but this can still be an obsession because getting someone in your life is all you think about, right? You walk into a room and you're like, all right, who's it gonna be, right? You're just constantly looking around trying to figure out who that person is gonna be. Where do you land? Do you hear those things and you're like, that's not me? Do you hear those things and you think, crap, is that me? Or do you think, no, that's definitely me and I don't have a problem with it. What's wrong with this? This is great. And hear me clearly, I'm gonna say it again. There's nothing wrong with having someone in your life. There's nothing wrong with being in a relationship and being excited about it. And honestly, if you were in a relationship and you weren't excited about it, that would be bad, right? That would be a bad thing. But it becomes a problem when everything else in your life seems to fade away. If everything else in your life seems to fade away because of this one person, that can be a problem. Why? Why is it a problem? Because you get distracted, right? Because you get distracted. There's so much to do in high school that matters. Some of you are seeing that. It's fleeting, right? There's so much to do in high school that matters. You've got chances to make memories with your friends. You've got chances to make memories with your family. You've got opportunities to be better, to learn more things, to work on your talents. You don't want to miss out on that. Being too focused on any one person is just not ever a good idea. It's not ever a good idea. The second reason that it can be a problem is because you start to push people away. Your friends aren't stupid, right? Even if you think they don't notice, they notice when your heart, your mind, your thoughts your energy are not with them. If you're in a room with your friends and you're on your phone texting someone else, like they notice, right? You know when your friends aren't with you. They start to feel distance, and if you're not careful, eventually, guys, all those relationships can start to fade away. And the people you care about most can start to disappear. And here's the thing, whether you marry that person you're in a relationship with or you don't, you're gonna need your friends. You're gonna need your friends. We've all seen this, right? Don't poke anybody or elbow anybody. We've all seen this, where our friends or someone we know, they give up things, right? They give up their friends, they give up sports. Maybe they give up a hobby or things they enjoy doing for a relationship. That happens, right? And deep down, when you watch that happening, you're like, ooh, they're missing out. Don't let that be you. The question is, what do we do about it? How do we balance all of this, right? You can't not care about someone you want to be with. You can't not want to spend time with people that you care about, right? So how much is good for you and how much is it? How do we even answer that? We're going to look at a passage today from a letter written by the Apostle Paul, okay? He wrote, almost half the New Testament was written by this guy, and he wrote letters to emerging churches and faith communities in the first century. Okay, so it's important for you to know all of his letters were written with the intent of just to love people. He wanted people to love God. He wanted people to love each other. And he wanted people to live better lives. And we want that too, right? We want to love God, we want to love others, and we want to live better lives. So we're going to read a letter today from Ephesians. It was written to a church called Ephesus. And it's important to note here that dating as we know it today, obviously, was not happening in the Bible, right? When Paul wrote this letter, there was no such thing as dating. And truly, like if we were to look up rules for dating in the Bible, we would be really confused. It's not in there. I wish it was. It would be really great if I could look it up and be like, okay, this is how many hours it's healthy to hang out. This is how many hours it's like, how many times a week are we supposed to, whatever. Like, that would be great. But it's not in there. So what we're going to use this verse that can be applied, and this is what Paul says. He says, be careful how you live. Don't live like fools, but like those who are wise. Don't live like fools, but like those who are wise. And here he's basically saying, just pay attention to the choices that you're making. Don't let life just happen to you. As you choose how you're living, be wise. Wisdom is important here because it's not really a matter of like who's a good person or a bad person, or, you know, is it okay to date them or not date them or whatever. It's more about like, is this a person good or bad for me? You know, is this person good or bad for me right now? Like there's things like that that you have to consider. And Paul encourages us to pay attention and make wise choices as we can. And this principle, really it can be applied to anything, right? You can take this principle and apply it to your friendships, your school, your schedule. But for the sake of today, here's a question that I want you to ask yourself when it comes to dating for you, right? Am I being wise or unwise? Ask yourself, am I being wise or unwise? Guys, this is so tricky because the issue with this question is that it's different for the answer is different for every single one of you. Your friends, your parents, your pastors, your teachers, like we might all think we know what's best for you, and sometimes we do. Sometimes your parents feel a certain way about somebody that you're talking to, and they're right. But at the end of the day, you're the only one that can know. You're the only one that can hear God's voice. You're the only one that God sees, that he sees everything, right? He sees your heart. He sees the condition of your heart. He sees all the things you think about. He knows all the things you do. And he also knows that about the other person. And this is where you have to lean into the Holy Spirit. That voice that you hear, God's voice, you have to lean into that and you have to listen. You have to be willing to stop and ask God, am I being wise or unwise? I don't know, but he knows. So you have to be willing to ask. You have to be willing to listen. And then if you want to be obedient to God, you have to be willing to obey, right? If you know that God's telling you to do something, you got to do it. Paul's not done making this point. He continues and he says, make the most of every opportunity in these evil days. Now, don't focus on evil days. I want you to focus on the first part, okay? I want you to focus on where it says, make the most of every opportunity. Guys, y'all are busy. Your time gets taken up by so many different things that it's just important for you to make the most of the time that you have, right? The time that you have, I want you to make the very most of that. And when it comes to high school, this time in your life is important. This time in your life is unique. And you will never experience anything like it again. You'll never experience anything like being a freshman in high school again, or a sophomore, or a junior, or a senior. It's all different. If you ask any of the seniors in the room, they'll tell you that's true. Each year has its own special things, right? Just don't waste your time. You don't want to look back and say, oh, I missed all that time with my friends. I don't remember it because I was so focused on this one person that I didn't do anything else. Or I put all my time and energy into this one person and I didn't invest in my relationship with the Lord. You guys have a chance to lean in here and really shape and develop yourself. Take the opportunities. Focus on your relationship with God. Encourage your friends, influence people around you, and develop yourself. And guys, dating can be a great part of that. It only gets to be problematic when it takes up too much space. And you've got to be the one to figure out what that looks like. God is at work in your life, and he wants to use you in specific ways. Dating can be part of that, right? It could also be a distraction from it. So to make the best use of the time that you have, one thing that we can take away is this: nothing in life should hold you back from the rest of your life. That's not a knock on the person that you're dating or the person that you're interested in. And it doesn't mean that the person you're dating, that doesn't mean you don't have potential. I'm not saying anything like that. Just don't let a relationship hold you back from the rest of your life. And this is a big deal. I don't want you to miss this. And this is the main reason I want to bring this home tonight, is that another human, any human, they're not meant to carry the burden of all your emotional needs. Your emotional needs are too heavy for any one person, okay? God is clearly the only one that can meet all of our needs. And when we focus on our relationship with him first, the rest of it kind of falls into place. But we need to focus on our relationship with him, but he places a lot of people around you. Have you noticed that? He places friends, family, teammates, coworkers. He places a lot of people around us, and he does that for a reason. The burden is too much to bear for one. And ultimately, guys, people are people. People are people. We hurt each other. We let each other down. Only God can give us what we're looking for. Only God can give us the confidence that we're looking for. Only God can give us the security that we're looking for. Only God can give us the worth that we're looking for. So in my mind, here's a few things that we can do to make sure that we're getting it right. I know all of you are probably getting it right, so you can take this back to your friends, right? Everybody's got this down. We can broaden our focus. If you find that this is you, if you're like, man, I think I do spend all my time and energy on this one person, and maybe I do need to, maybe not get away from them, but maybe I just need to like broaden my focus. I need to make sure that I'm spending time with my friends. I need to make sure that I'm having experiences with more people, with my family, with my friends. Just broaden your focus. If you're currently in a relationship, don't forget the people around you. Don't ditch your friends. Don't abandon your family. Don't lose interest in the people that have been important in your life. It can be really easy, guys. It's so easy and so tempting to just want to make your life all about that person because they're awesome and you like them and you want them to like you, right? You want to spend time together. But don't let other relationships drop away along that path because you're going to need them. Like I said before, whether you marry that person you're dating right now or you don't, you're going to need your friends. And this last point is for anyone in the room that is not dating anyone. Here's what I would say. Do not make that your main goal. If you're not happy with your life or with who you are when you're not dating someone, then you won't be happy with your life when you are dating someone. Did y'all hear that? If you're not happy with your life when you're not dating someone, you're not going to be happy with your life just because you start dating someone, okay? No one can do that for you. Only God can do that for you. You don't need another person in your life for you to have an incredible high school experience. Go be you. Do things you like to do. Go places you like to go. See movies you want to see. Dating is not a solution. Okay? Dating is not a solution because being single is not a problem. Okay? Dating is not a solution because being single is not a problem unless you make it a problem. If you meet someone along the way while you're enjoying yourself in high school, that's amazing. Okay? Just don't make that your whole goal. Don't spend your whole high school days waiting for that person to show up. Okay? Dating is good. It can be good. We do it on purpose, and we learn a lot about ourselves through it, right? You know, if you've ever been in a relationship, you know you learn a lot about yourself when you're dating someone. You also learn a lot about other people. You learn a lot about how to treat other people, sometimes how to not treat other people. But it's good for us. But just don't miss out. Don't miss out on high school because it's something that you're doing too seriously. Don't miss the chance to figure out who you are because you're consumed with being who someone else wants you to be. Okay? Nothing in life should keep you from the rest of your life. If you feel convicted by this, guys, I just want to encourage you to talk about it. Grab a leader, grab Chad, grab myself, grab a friend that you trust that loves Jesus. Like, talk about it and figure out some creative ways for you to just broaden your focus. It makes all the difference. God, thank you for this day. Thank you for just who you are. Thank you for an opportunity to worship you, to hear from you. God, I pray for every student in this room as you speak to their hearts, God, that they would listen, that they would obey, and that they would just chase after you. We love you.